Good morning and welcome to today's Talking Cafe. I am glancing to the side to see whether or not anybody is actually with us, and we are live, working on the assumption that we've pressed all the right buttons and you are seeing us. Today we are going to be joined by Laura Blake from Somerset Community Foundation, and she's going to be talking about the Surviving Winter appeal. And to that end, as usual, I've done my little poem to try and encapsulate what it is we're going to be doing. So it's Surviving Winter Appeal. Is your home feeling drafty and cold? There's help out there, that's what I'm told. No one should choose between heating or eating. It is both of them that you need to be keeping. Have you heard about the work that's achieved by those donating to others in need? Organised by Somerset Community Foundation, there is an asset that's helping the nation. By donating your winter fuel money, you're making someone else's world sunny. You'll be helping to keep them warm, safe and well by affording to heat the place where they dwell. Your kind donations to FCS will help to ensure that the cold winter's bite stays away from their door. This is one part of what they can do by joining together and sticking like glue. So I now take the opportunity to say good morning to Laura. Thank you very much for coming and letting everybody know about all the good work that you do.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Wendy. Thanks for having me.
Okay, I guess to get the ball rolling, we ask, can you tell us about Somerset Community Foundation and what it is you do? Because I know it's much more, isn't it, as well?
It is. So we do a lot of things. So we are a local charity, and we're all about helping small local charities here in Somerset and helping to build stronger communities. So we make grants to around about 300 small local charities every year. So last year we made about £2.3 million worth of grants. You might have seen one of the most important things that we've done over the last year is we ran the Somerset coronavirus appeal. So through that we've raised just over 1.25 million, coming up for 1.5 million soon, I hope. And that's been, obviously a really important part of our work, and we've been able to help about 250 charities with grants to help our communities through the impact of coronavirus. So lots of food banks, mental health charities, youth charities, really wide ranging, and all of that work that we do, including our Surviving Winter Appeal, is all made possible really by the support of our donors. So lots of local people, local businesses, you all get behind the work that we do. So that's a little snapshot about what we do.
Okay. Can you tell us how the Surviving Winter Appeal started and how it sort of all came about?
Absolutely. So it was about 11 years ago now. One of our donors actually came to us and said, look, I don't need the winter fuel payment that I get. Obviously, winter fuel payment is given to everybody, regardless of your household income or circumstances. So he said to us, look, I don't need this. How can I get it to somebody who does need it? There must be people out there who are living in fuel poverty. Can you help us? Can you help me get it to them? And I guess that kind of sparked quite a simple but powerful idea. And with that, we launched the Surviving Winter Appeal, which has now grown to be a really significant part of the work that we do, and also really fantastically inspired lots of other community foundations across the country, of which there are 46, to start their own Surviving Winter Appeals. So now it helps thousands and thousands of people across the country, just from that one idea.
Well, I know as working for CCS, it is one of our things that as village agents and community agents, I'm going to say it is there for us that is such a blessing, because as you rightly say, it is so nice to be able to say to people, that's right, don't worry, we know a man that can help, sort of thing. So yes, we're eternally grateful and always overwhelmed by the generosity of people as well. As you say, the more, it feels to me that, you know, we're able to help more and more every year, aren't we?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it has definitely grown a lot and continues to grow every year.
I'm going to ask you an awful one now as to why do you think the appeal was needed in the first place? You know, so how did you get to come up with the idea?
Yeah, so we know that around about 10% of households, not just older people, but households in Somerset are living in fuel poverty. And equally, every year we have around about somewhere in between 400 and 500 excess winter deaths. And those, you know, those statistics are shocking, and we just think they just shouldn't be happening. So for us, it's we know there are older people who are living in difficult circumstances. You know, a lot of the time as well, people have very kind of poorly heated homes. They might be drafty, they may not be very well insulated, perhaps older homes. And also, if you're out in an isolated rural area, you know, you may not be, you know, you're more exposed to the elements, and you just may struggle with getting things like gas and electricity. So you might have to pay for additional types of fuel like oil or logs and things like that, which can be way more expensive to run throughout, particularly a difficult winter. So for us, you know, we have heard many stories over the year of older people who are faced with a really difficult choice, and that is often between heating or eating. We know there are older people who will, you know, sit in one room and keep the heating on in one room, or a little fire on in one room, or a heater, and they will reduce how much they eat if they think they need to put the heating on. And that's not good enough. We need to make sure that older people in Somerset are able to stay warm, safe and well. And that's the really important, that's the crux of the appeal, really. It's about making sure they are warm, safe and well, because that's exactly what they deserve. So for us, that means giving, you know, a small, relatively modest grant, usually, you know, anywhere between 150 to 250 or £300, so that people feel confident and comfortable putting the heating on as much as they need to stay warm. But it's also about, you know, if we can connect them to fantastic organisations like you guys, the CCS, they can get extra help as well. So they can get access to, if they're not claiming benefits that they're entitled to, you know, you can help them figure out how to do that. Or often that will mean connecting them into what else is happening in their area, you know, if they're isolated or lonely. So that's another really important part of the appeal, really, and something that for us is vital, just as vital as the grants, really.
Which of course is what the Community Council for Somerset is about, isn't it, CCS? And what surprises me still, when we're going out to clients, is there is a generation out there still that, you know, haven't changed since they moved into their homes in 1950s. They still, okay, they've got the plumbing come indoors, so they no longer sort of trek outside to the loo, although still some that have that, but they still have the old-fashioned ideas of you can't waste the heat because they've had such a frugal life. It's very difficult, as you say, to get them to insulate, to seal that door up, get the new door, to eat properly rather than, you know, and heat, as you nicely put it. But it's not just the classical thought of type of person either, is it? That benefit from the funds that you raise. It's much more, isn't it?
What do you mean by that? Sorry.
Sort of what sort of people benefit from the funds?
Yeah.
Whilst it's elderly, people have that image, but it's open to a much wider range. It doesn't, you know, it can be, you know, if there was if there was somebody that was slightly younger, again was still not able to, let's say they had a broken back door that was howling a gale, would we be able to come then because they are clinically vulnerable?
Yeah.
We come to do.
So we're really we try and be just as flexible as we can be, really. And obviously we have sometimes, you know, the main crux of our appeal is about helping older people, you know, those who are considered, you know, pensionable age. But you know, there are people who are in their 50s and 60s who are struggling with a lot of health problems. They might have a lot of problems at home, like you've just said. Their home environment might just not be suitable or not be warm enough, or just need some adaptations that for them are financially just crippling and they just can't do. So we do want to be as flexible as we can be. Obviously, the bulk of people that we help are often in their 60s, but you know, we would never discriminate if there are people who are that bit younger, but they're still struggling financially and they are, you know, facing that choice, that difficult decision between heating and eating. We would never want to turn them away.
Yeah, and of course we've got other routes that when we come across clients that are more needy, and I guess most importantly is how can people donate to the appeal or the grant? It's getting the word out there for those that are wanting to help.
Yeah, yeah. So it's really, really easy to do. So you can donate online on our website. So what we always say about the appeal is, you know, we're reaching out to people to ask them to donate if they can afford to. And please don't feel bad if you can't and you need your winter payment. We would never want you to donate in that circumstance. If you feel you don't need your winter payment, or you don't need a part of your winter payment, and you're thinking about what you could do with it, then hopefully this is a great option for you. So if you head to our website, which will be in the comments, it's somersetcf.org.uk/winter. You can find out there all about the appeal. You can make a donation, and you can also find out on that page if you're interested in or if you need a grant, the organisations that could help you there, including CPS, of course.
Yes, funnily enough, I had a look at your link, obviously when we were preparing for today, and saw a list of all of the different people. So there are a lot of people able to come to you and help. Yeah. I'm trying to think, is there anything that we've missed? If anybody out there has a question, then please do put it in the comments box, and we'll answer as and where possible or steer you right. Have we covered most of it? What other type of things as well, just to get you your broader picture? We do the appeal. You do. When I went on there, I was really surprised at everything that you cover. It's so much more than just the winter surviving winter.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're really, really lucky. You know, we get such a wide range of support. So we've got lots of different funds that open up all throughout the year. So we have things like funds for young people who are looking for bursaries for education, right through to people who want to make changes to their village hall. They might need to refurbish their village hall, through to if they need help making things more energy efficient. We've got all kinds of funds, but in the main things that we support are grassroots, small local charities, and such a wide range, you know, right through from things for mums and babies through to older people, mental health, people with disabilities. So if you are part of a community group, community sports club, a youth club, carnival club, you know, anything like that, if you haven't heard about us before, if you're looking for funding for the work that you do, particularly at these times which are so difficult for local charities, then please do head over to our website. We've got lots of funding available for you, and you know, at any time during the year there's always funds that are open, so do feel free to have a look on the website or give us a call. We're always really happy to chat to charities that we've not spoken to before.
And we have had a question come in from somebody that's watching, a very valid question actually, will benefits be affected by any payments they receive? That
is a really good question, actually. It's something I don't know the answer to, but Wendy, I don't know if you would know.
Well, funnily enough, my brain was thinking about it, and it is one I'm going to have to go and research unless one of my colleagues knows the answer and can put it up. And that's the blessing with having a large team that all work together. what one doesn't know, somebody else will. And we're only just coming into our surviving winter season.
Yeah.
And thank you for raising that question, because it's probably one we are now going to get asked, and at least we'll be prepared with the answer. As soon as we know the answer, we will put it in the comments box for you.
I would say that normally when you receive grants, kind of additional grants from local charities, they tend not to be impacted, and you should normally be able to talk to your contact at, whether that's, the job centre or whichever agency that you deal with, and let them know what that is and explain it. But given it's a one-off grant, it shouldn't. But yeah, it would be good.
And as it's normally with pensioners that are in the vulnerable category, they are only on the pension, which puts them then under the limit anyway. So looking at it logically, I would, as you agree with you, that normally it wouldn't be. It's a one-off funding, and it's invariably because they are on a low threshold.
Yeah, but it's definitely something to check, because of course things like pension credit, there may be a chance there, so that's something for us to check and let you know.
Yeah, so we shall get the answer put up into the comments after we've finished our chat. I'm just trying to think. I think we covered all areas. Do you think? Is there anything else you would like?
I think I'd just like to say, just a huge thank you, really, to our communities for, how amazingly generous they've been, and particularly in this year when it's a really tough year for so many people. What's been amazing for us is seeing how the appeal has grown. So, we've gone from, that one person wanting to make that pledge and help somebody else, and we're now looking at 600, 700 people donating every year. We've grown to a level where we're able to raise around £120,000 a year, and that's hopefully growing every year as well. So we really could never have expected it to become something that's so significant. So many people who support the appeal have done that for years and years, and that always really touches me, because it's just something that has become part and parcel of what they do in the winter, and it just shows, I think, how compassionate our community is, and how neighbourly people in Somerset are. They do want to make sure that their neighbours are looked after, and that nobody's experiencing a really tough winter. So for me, it's just a real privilege to be able to work on it, and so I just want to say thank you to everybody who gets behind it, really.
I really second that statement, because I've only been in Somerset for 4 years, and I am blown away by the community, which is one of the reasons I've got children here, hence we joined them. But that was the biggest significant thing I found when I came here, was the community spirit, how everybody goes above and beyond to support when they know there is an appeal of any kind out there. And yeah, they are truly amazing. We are really lucky to this area. Yes, I totally agree with that.
I think we're both in really privileged positions in our respective organisations, that for us, I think for so many, it's this year, I should say last year, has felt really tough and drawn out and challenging year, and obviously for some people much more than others. But the thing that has been so inspirational, I think, for all of us at the foundation, and I'm sure you at CCS as well, is just how much the communities have been just stepping up. Our local charities like CCS and like so many others have been absolutely incredible, and it's times like these when you really need them. I think people don't often realise, or the charities are just there in the background. And then, of course, this happened, and lots more people needed our charities. They needed food delivered, or medicine delivered, or those small things. They needed their community shop, which has been now run by volunteers and social enterprise, and all those things. So for me, it's been amazing to see the stories from our communities where people have just gone above and beyond. And I think, appeals like ours for our coronavirus appeal, we had people donating multiple times to the appeal over the course of several months, which, again, at a tough time is just so inspiring to see. So I think, appeals like ours are a reminder at difficult times that there is so much help out there. And if people are feeling nervous about asking for help, or feel perhaps they don't deserve it, but they are struggling, please know the help is there for you to use it. And that's what we want. You know, we want to reach the people who perhaps are a bit shy about asking. We want to hear from you. We want to help you.
And I guess that is also an appeal to people that are aware of people. It's I always say when I first started, I used to have people before they knew sort of what we were all about. They'd say, "Oh no, darling, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. I don't I don't need any support." And I said, "No," I said, "but the reason I'm coming and I'm announcing this to you and letting you know who we are and what we do is because it's your neighbour, the one that doesn't go out, the one that won't ask for help, the one that you worry about."
Yeah.
That's who we need to be. So, as you say, it's getting it out there for if somebody needs the help, to try and encourage them to, because it is so gladly given, it is there for them. Don't struggle. As you say, you can't say it enough. But as you say, they don't always, they're always a little bit shy to come forward or
Absolutely.
feel they can cope.
I think if there's one thing that the last year has taught us is that actually this can affect everybody. Everybody can struggle at certain times, and it's not a sign of weakness. You shouldn't be ashamed or feel embarrassed at all. You know, this has had huge financial impacts on people, and even a simple thing like, you know, what we were anticipating this year is more demand for surviving winter grants, because we know purely and simply people have to spend more time at home this year. You know, and
Yes.
it's cold if you're at home all day. You need to put the heating on more. So people who might ordinarily get themselves out and about, go to the shops, go to a social club, go to the village hall for something, go to a choir, any of those things that keep you positive and well and connected, those things might not have been happening. So if you're spending more time at home, you will notice a difference in your heating bills, and you may for the first time be thinking this feels a bit of a struggle. So even if you've never had to ask for help before, or if you feel like you don't fit the criteria, that doesn't matter. I think you need to just be comfortable and open to go and get help, because the money is there for a reason, and we want to make sure if you are struggling that you feel able to get the help that you need, regardless of your normal circumstances.
I totally agree. And the other thing that they're not doing, I mean, yes, we have the isolation, but of course, whilst they were going to the coffee mornings and things like, and the open reach, the open house in the church, of course, they weren't having to warm their home. They were
Absolutely.
going into warm places. They would go and visit the library, and and as you say, they were always going into somewhere warm, which meant however many hours a day they weren't having to heat. And as you rightly said, they're probably now worried because they're having to sit there and turn the heating up.
Absolutely, and that's why we said to ourselves, let's raise as much as we possibly can this year, see if we can do more than last year, because we know that there'll be lots of people in that situation. And I think also the other side of our appeal, and we've focused on this more in the last few years, is loneliness and isolation. And so many of our older people, I think it's 1 in 6 older people in Somerset tell us they often or always feel lonely, and that's just sad. It's really sad that that's how most people are feeling, or how many people are feeling. And we know that those social groups and the opportunities to get out, meet other people, make new friends, do a social activity, those are so important. And again, over the last year, those have been massively impacted. And of course, you can do some things online. It's not the same, but also a lot of older people perhaps aren't as confident or aren't online. So it has been really difficult for them to access things. And one of the things we're really pleased to fund with a small portion of the funds from the appeal is so the year before last, and for a few years now, we've been funding community Christmas meals. So lots of local, really small local charities who are delivering on Christmas Day. They're bringing people who might be on their own together for a Christmas meal in their village hall or kind of community space, and that is an amazing thing to do. I think for those people who might be bereaved or who might live alone, to have that social connection at a time which is all about friends and family is so important. But of course, last year that couldn't happen either in many places. So we wanted to make sure we still did something. And of course, our local charities absolutely stepped up to the plate. They were still very much wanting to do something. So many of them were out there delivering meals on Christmas Day. They were delivering hampers with presents and Christmas food. They were sending handwritten Christmas cards out. You know, that spirit and that community spirit was still very much alive and well. But we know that this prolonged period of isolation is really, really tough. And if you live alone, or if you're in a rural community that might be a bit more isolated, it is very tough. So we are always funding projects that are designed to try and reduce that isolation, build those social connections. But, you know, again, that for us is something we're really mindful of this year, just how tough that is for so many people, not just older people, even younger people as well. Anybody can experience loneliness, but it is particularly tough this year, we know.
And we would, CCS were truly blessed this last winter, as you say, with the offers of the food coming through, the food donations. We actually ended up doing a food resilience because people were so very generous. And of course, one of the other problems we have being Somerset, being rural, is we don't have the internet structure and the stability of the internet either. So even if you are trying to grasp it for the first time, the connectivity even of keeping your, you know, being able to get online, or how many times even with the TV, if they're trying to watch TV through Wi-Fi, they're using one of the satellite ones. How often does the Wi-Fi drop out and you're there paused with the screen? So you're in frustrating times, and there are frustrating elements going on around that increase that pressure. So yes, as you say, even though we're in lockdown, you know, do have, if you've got somebody isolated that are on their own, get, you know, if they haven't got a bubble and you haven't got somebody that you're looking after, do an enably thing, which most of people are, but there will still be some out there that are looking for that support and reassurance that are isolating, isn't it? So
yeah, absolutely. And we've seen lots of fantastic kind of neighbourhood groups popping up at the start of the coronavirus lockdown, and you know, simple things like you might just be turning up on someone's doorstep and having a quick chat with them, and having a 5-10 minute conversation with them, or giving them a call. You know, it doesn't have to be face to face if you're, you know, maybe you're shielding yourself. And we've seen so much of that real you know, attempt to just keep some connection going for people. If they can't get out and about in a normal way, if they're shielding for health reasons, it doesn't mean they don't, you know, it doesn't mean they don't want that social interaction. Of course, everybody needs that. So just that simple thing, that, like you said, of just giving somebody a call, popping around, you know, checking if they need anything. There's been so much of that. You know, it's been amazing to see. So, yeah.
It has. It has. I am very conscious of time because I know you do have another appointment. You very kindly fitted in that we could get the awareness out there, get the appeal, doing even better, and allowing us then to put more claims in so that we can support more people. And as you say, it's open to everybody in Somerset. It's been really lovely talking to you. When you get more projects on the go and you need to get more out there, when things start to calm down again, please get in touch with us. We would love to have you back again. And I thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure. Thanks for having me.
It's been lovely. Thank you. So it just remains for me to now to say thank you all very much for watching. As usual, next week, South Somerset will be on covering, I think my colleague Kath will be covering, and then I am back on the 29th of January with you. Until then, thank you very, very much, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.